Guess what, Hank? It's the weekly wrap-up. Did you know that? It's the weekly wrap-up. Hi, everyone. This is Hank, our new office cat. You can see, yes, he has some scarring and eye issues, but that does not stop him at all. You guys met him last week. He's got a little black. I saw this yesterday, but it's nothing. It's just like a little discoloring in his ear. But he's going to join us. And he is really coming out of his shell. Jameson's doing a little better, too. As you guys know, we took in 2 TNR cats from a foster that they have socialized enough. And this little guy, I guess, got trapped twice and over the last, I think, 9 months or something. So he keeps getting himself in trouble. So he is going to be here with us. The only reason they won't stay with us is if we find the perfect home for him and Jameson together, because Jameson really finds his confidence here in Hank. So welcome, everybody. It's so nice to see you, Denise and Julie and Sue, Faith, many of you today. So, well, first, let's talk a little bit. So I know the e-newsletter went out today, and we were trying to share some wonderful video of Sushi's habitat that so many of you made possible. And I know some of those video links in the e-newsletter aren't working. So we are going to email those that have emailed us the links. But sorry about that. We will try and get that working. We don't know if it was a glitch with Constant Contact or what. Sorry for those that didn't get to see the video of the construction. But Sushi was moved to our new habitat. We also, because we were, Anastasia and Shrek kind of were overflowing what we call Cougar Island, we were calling it. Then we added Sushi's habitat, and we're adding the Bobcat yard behind it, that you guys so wonderfully funded. And so on top of that, we're adding a 3rd yard this year and then 2 more next year. So we just really needed a new section of the sanctuary. Excuse me, Hank. Hanker. And so we voted on that internally, and we are calling it Cattail Creek, because between all of those habitats is our creek that runs into our pond. And so it was just kind of perfectly fitting for that. And so Sushi, it was a big change for her. It was a big habitat for this little girl. And she was wanting to stay under a pine tree a lot. She didn't want to really use her waterfall, so we turned off her waterfall, but now she's investigating the front of the habitat, the pools. She seems to not be bothered by Thor or Nova next door. She likes to be next to Shrek on the wall. I think it's just more she's preferring the cover of the pine trees. But caretaker said she's going into her lockout for feeding, so everything doing well. It's just taking a little bit longer for her to acclimate. And then we're working on the bungalows. So on top of her den box and all the dens she has in there, she will have a temperature-controlled bungalow, which is also luxurious. And we're hoping with the electric and everything in, that'll be a couple more weeks. And then she'll have full access to that. Another big thing that happened is summer safari. So only 2 to 3 times a year do we have donors on site. And it's important to us because we want donors to see where their funds are going. We have volunteer opportunities for many people if they want to come for crew days or join the garden team. We have people that help clean the offices even, chores team, animal care, animal center clean team. And there's definitely opportunities available. But not every donor can volunteer. And so this was a great way that we have 50 of our key donors on site getting to see the projects they helped fund. Excuse me, Hank. And it was just lovely. It was so lovely to see so many people, many of you that are on Facebook. And it's just such a community feel. It's one thing I said here during my speech is TWS is special not only just for the cats, for the staff, but you, our supporters, don't just write checks. You, our supporters, are engaged. You have a relationship with us. We have a relationship with you, and you guys have formed a community with each other. And when I talk to funders and people from other nonprofits, they just haven't seen anything like that before. And so kudos to you. I just think it's wonderful that the sanctuary is so much more than just a sanctuary for cats, and you guys make that possible. So the rain did hold out for events, and then the rain poured a little after, but it was perfect. We actually added a bonus hour for people to see the cats so that they've traveled as far as Florida, South Carolina, I think California, that they had time to see the cats that they care for. So that was awesome. We've had some medical days here, but not many. We were really mowing and getting ready for summer safari. But the little stray cats, Ripley and Jameson, had their full intake exam and full vaccines and everything, and both are healthy. They have some chronic eye issues, but it's not hurting them. It's just they look a little different, and that makes them even more special. Let's see. AmeriCorps has been so busy. They have been doing so many projects. They did, like I talked about, 40 perches for Catio Town, but they also, what we did around Catio Town is we have our perimeter fence that's around the property, and we have a compound fence. But the perimeter fence is like elk fencing, and that's major goal is to keep people out. But since we have the small cat area, I wanted to make sure those holes weren't small enough that if we ever did have a breach of one of our office cats or small cats, that they wouldn't just go out of that fence. And so they put up a fence that has a smaller hole inside of that fence. So now some areas have 3 fencing, and it's just part of our protocol. They've been working in the new bobcat yard. They really helped prepare for summer safari and did mowing, and I can't believe their last day is Monday. So a huge thanks to them and their group. We actually had a little goodbye ice cream social yesterday and gave them one of the Winona hearts that have been made out of her barrel, and even a hog ring necklace, because they had done so many hog rings, kind of as just a fun way to say thank you. And then on top of that, we have interns, animal care interns that are leaving. It's their last time here at TWS too, and that 6 months goes so fast. It's crazy. So fast. And so it takes just a huge team of people. It was Veterinary Appreciation Day. It was Sanctuary Caregiver Day. I mean, it just shows you how many layers it takes to make this sanctuary run and turn what it is for the cats. And some of the goodbye messages, one of the interns stated, the one thing that sticks with her the most is just the amount of care the cats get here at the sanctuary. Like, she wanted to learn more and learn about husbandry and things, but she did not realize till she got here how much individualized care, and she said just the amazing great care, not from the diet, but the enrichment to the habitat changes. And you guys make that all possible. So that was really, really nice to hear. Chores and more notes. So we have a volunteer group that they come and do chores. They do dishes, all the animal care dishes, from the feeding buckets to the knives to everything that's done there in food prep. And then after 6 months, they go and graduate to chores and more. And chores and more, the more part is they get to go read and spend time with the cats, especially ones we assign that might need more attention, might need to get used to people. They might be a little more timid. And so I wanted to read you a few of the notes. So let's see, who's the first one? Oh, so then they went out to Max and Tiger, who are Bengals. And Max was asleep on the top of their den, Barb said. Tiger was in his den. He climbed onto the platform, and it was he walked towards her, Monica. He walked towards Monica, and Phoebe, and they all laid together. Max was sounding congested. He's got chronic upper congestion, but they were both relaxed. Harley, Riku, Xena, and Bestie, when sitting with Harley, that Bestie went to sit opposite him. He pawed at the fence barrier, and Bestie hissed a few times, but then she just sat down and relaxed, because we're considering a play date with them. So that was fun. Wildcat Pines, Archer, the bobcat, he had the playful zoomies. This is what Leanne said when she was doing chores and more. DJ, the Bengal, she said it was nice to sit in the middle and read to all of them. They seemed to enjoy it and stayed in their perches or came to the fence to say hi. That was great. Aurora, the caracal, as she said she was reading to her, was not interested today. So just reading these notes of the volunteers of the quiet time they're spending. And then she said, in Feline Meadows, Snow the cougar, it was possibly the first time sighting her ever. And she was so excited that she got to see Snow while she was doing chores and more. A few other notes is Barb said she was working with Noah the tiger because he was having some annoyance issues with Tarek in Feline Meadows next door. But he was acting really good that day, was quiet and at the fence. And so they just go on and on. It's just so wonderful that we have this. And so on top of that individualized care, then the volunteers come and do that. Then we had severe weather this week, and we're having severe weather again tomorrow. And so we follow our protocol. So sometimes I stay on site, but always we have a minimum of 2 people on site. We lock in all the cats when we know there's going to be potential weather. That seems like a check the box, but it's not. I would say 80% of the cats lock in. Some, because it'll be hot and humid, don't want to move in. So like they know Thor, Junior the tiger, really is destructive in his room if he's locked in. So they prepared enrichment for him to be in his room. And he did really great. The one that destroyed his room was Tiger Noah. He took wood chunks apart that they put wood in there. He had bite marks and that. He smashed his water cage. He smashed his water bucket. He had scratched the concrete and kind of wore down his nails. And so he hadn't done that before. And so this is what we look at. Okay, well now more severe weather's coming. Are we going to lock Noah in and make him really stressed? And the answer is, if it's extreme weather, yes, because one night of stress for a lifetime of safety is invaluable. But it's more of, he has a little holding yard, and that holding yard can be left open right outside his room. And it is just like a 10 by 20 area. There's no trees around it, things like that. So that's when we make the pre-meeting and have a decision of who's going to be locked completely in. And then when we do all the rounds and we feed them, there's a list that goes out to the entire emergency response team that says, here's the cats that have access that would not lock in, and here's the cats that have limited access. So we know those are our potential vulnerability areas. And so everybody has that. Then our staff are watching the weather at all time. They cannot go back out after dark if bad weather is hit. They would need backup, and then we go in covered vehicles like a full car, make sure there isn't any trees down, fence breaches, things like that. And there's just a protocol. It's like a decision tree. If this happens, do this. This happens, do this. But it is not left to the people overnight. They are maybe on the ground here, but we have a text thread of people in a team that are watching the weather, helping make decisions. The person on site is relaying everything, and then they have support. So I will say that weather is the most stressful for us, because even if we're not working, most of us are working. We're just at home. We're watching those weather radars. We're watching multiple weather stations. We're helping, having a lineup of help if we need it, if there was a tree down in the road and people couldn't get to work, things like that. So it's a big, big process. So we're always thankful that the extreme weather days only happen about 8 days out of the year. So that's kind of it, and that's coming up tomorrow too. So Catio Town. I know we've been so excited. So much is ready. We were hoping we could show you more. We just got the message that the construction team will now not be starting until July 8th, which I think is almost a month or longer than the original plan. They have assured us that they know how critical the timing of this building is so that cats get back into before winter. And so they've said they're gonna have 2 teams doing the construction instead of 1 to make up the time. And it's how construction goes. And so we're trying to stay positive, but that's just really hard to start out of the gate that way. So we're really entrusting ourselves in that construction company that they can make up time, because there's a lot of stuff we need to do on our back end too. It's not just their building, but we are actually doing the kennel fronts in the rooms. We are doing all the furniture. We need to have skywalks and things for them to sleep in place and all that. Now the fancy stuff like the TVs for them, or you know, some of the themed rooms that we want to do, that can come later. We can do that and have that before the big reveal in spring, but having our cats warm, safe, and with all the amenities they need before it gets cold is our priority. So we'll keep you posted on that. Now, we only have the matching funds for Catio Town through June 30th. So definitely, if you want to donate, many of you already have and done a square foot, get into those matching funds before June 30th. And then we still have some wish list items. Thank you. Some just really fun stuff is starting to come in. People bought more TVs. Somebody bought the Barbie caretaker seating area, because of course we want benches in all of these rooms. We want the caretakers to be spending more time with these little small hybrids. You can definitely order more things on the wish list. Anything that's not purchased, we're gonna have to purchase out of our own funds. So we will definitely do that, but anything you can help with is greatly appreciated, and it's really fun to see. So also, we are really hoping to get Kimba, the new lynx, down somewhere. So we might have to move Buddy, the bobcat, for a while. He's like a 22-year-old bobcat, and so he's really easy to crate. So we might move a few times just to move cats around. So Tyler and AmeriCorps have been working hard in getting the skywalks and everything in that back habitat behind Sushi. Jesse and AmeriCorps have been working on insulating and putting plywood up in the bungalows, and then the electrician is ready to come next week to put in the heaters and the electric. And then the bobcat moves begin. I think I have maybe 10 of our 28 or bobcats moving to give different spaces available for cats. And then of course there's been rescue calls on the docket. So stay tuned. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Like I said, as we are always full, but we will service our state and our area definitely when needed for the animals. So we'll keep you posted on if anything happens there. And then the Argentina, we are still waiting on Argentina right now. We gave them our paperwork. The U.S. paperwork is finalized, and now it's in their court. And I know government is slow no matter what country you're in, so they're working on that. So I'll keep you posted when we have any news, and if Lucy's going to be coming in the near future. I think that's it for now. I've also been scheduling some continuing ed and conferences. So I'll be going to a Fila Tag conference. We were invited to attend that in Michigan in August, and so Elise will be going with me there. And then I've been asked to be in a panel at the Performing Animal Welfare Society, PAWS, Sanctuary in California. And so I've invited Olivia to attend that, since she's really interested in the legislation and overall animal welfare. And of course, Gina and I are working on, and we'll be attending the Big Cat Sanctuary Alliance Conference. So there's a lot of industry stuff going on that we'll be part of too. So, you know, it's just never a dull moment here. I see, of course, because I'm on a live post and my door is shut, both Jameson and Hank decided they had to use the litter box just at this time to leave me a nice aroma. But that's what life with cats is like. So thank you guys for making this all happen. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for the donors I got to see at Summer Safari. It really just, it was just a perfect day. I can't wrap it up anymore. I look forward to seeing others at the Legacy or VIP event. Our Legacy event, if you're a Legacy member, we have our first event this year. Those invites will be going out over the next couple weeks, so watch for that in your email. And again, thank you for all the sponsors, the Monthly Pride members, the Catio Town founding members and Hybrid Heroes. Everything we do every day we know is accomplished because of all of you. So we really appreciate you, and I hope you have a great Thursday, Friday, and weekend, and I will see you next week at our weekly wrap-up.